Shocker! Shocker! You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth!
Ayo guys, what's up? Gamer Guide here, and we have a lot to talk about. Alright, today we had a double premiere of Sonic Central 2 and IGN's preview of Sonic Frontiers. And yo, nobody saw Sonic Central coming out. I totally called this. I first saw a Portuguese website announce this like last night. I was the first Sonic tuber to post this on my YouTube community page and on Twitter, and of course a lot of naysayers and doubters, people were saying that what I said was fake, not to trust me, oh don't trust Gamer Guide, all that shit. Even I was starting to doubt myself, so I took down the post. I'm like, yeah, I mean, maybe that was wrong, like there's no way we can get a Sonic Central. Then less than an hour later, Sega officially announced Sonic Central is coming today. So I reposted it and I was like, yo, I need to stop doubting my instincts, man, my prophetic instincts. We are definitely getting Sonic Central 2. So, you know, it's just funny how people just rush so fast to discredit me. Like, even if I'm speculating, whether I'm speculating, theorizing, or making a prediction or accurate prediction, there's just some people, especially on Twitter, Sonic Twitter, that just love to discredit me. I don't know why. I don't know why they get off on that and why they love being wrong all the time, but that's between them. So I just finished watching Sonic Central and IGN, and I'm gonna be honest, Sonic Central was kind of lame, very lame actually. IGN's preview was much better. In fact, it actually reassured me a bit on Sonic Frontiers. So we will cover all that, but first I do want to address some of the Sonic Frontiers discourse and drama that has been at an all-time high for the past couple weeks now. So I will get into that first, then I will cover the Sonic Central and IGN news. But before we do that, be sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's see if we can get over 100k subs before Sonic Frontiers comes out. But alright, you know, there's just been a lot of drama on Twitter lately. Like, it's just crazy. I think this is the most negative I have seen the Sonic fanbase and Sonic tubers themselves act towards a Sonic game ever. Like, even Sonic Forces, we were all hyped about Sonic Forces. Then as the months rolled on and we started seeing more footage, a lot of us started being on the I think this is going to be bad, you know, side. But with Sonic Frontiers, the first gameplay footage we saw of IGN, a lot of people were being very negative towards it and just having a lot of doubts, you know. I know my reaction and impressions to it originally took people off guard because they were expecting me to be all negative and shit, but it's like, look guys, I'm totally neutral at this. Like I said before, I've been very indifferent to Sonic Frontiers. Sega has to impress me. What I've seen has been intriguing and interesting, but it's not like I'm not super hyped for this as I am with other games. You know, I'm more excited for Sonic Origins than Sonic Frontiers, but so far, what I have seen looks very promising. And overall, when people are like, but yo, what side are you on, Gamer Guide? Are you on the defense squad or are you on the negative side? And it's like, guys, I'm neutral. When it comes to this whole drama, I'm more of a chaotic neutral, you know? So, yeah, that's that. And it's like, you know, a lot of people, their biggest complaints are momentum. And it's like, yo, we haven't had a true momentum-based Sonic game in over a decade when it comes to 3D. Since the adventure games, to be honest, or maybe Sonic Heroes, I forgot, but it's like, you know, even that video which shows little momentum physics they have put in the boost games like Sonic Generations, Unleashed, Forces, and Colors, comparing Kishimoto directed Sonic games to the non-Kishimoto directed Sonic games, it's very little. It's like, okay, so playing Unleashed and Generations, there are some momentum physics on the rails and stuff, but it's like you have to purposely play it that way and jump over the boost just to see some kind of momentum on the rails. And to me, that's just ridiculous. It's like anytime I'm on the rails, I'm boosting or going fast. I'm not, you know, wasting time trying to see if there's momentum here. So it's like, whatever. Like, would I have loved to see more momentum physics in Frontiers? Of course. You know, this is what I've been talking about for a long time. I want the boost to die and for, you know, Sega to implement more momentum physics. But if Sonic Frontiers is not going to have momentum, that's not the end of the world. That's not going to be the main reason why Frontiers is bad. Because if that's the case, then Sonic Generations is mostly bad. Unleashed is bad. And I know a lot of you guys don't think Unleashed is a bad game, you know, nor is Generations or Colors. So there's a lot other things in Frontiers that would make the game bad. rather than momentum. Momentum is not one of them. But anyway, I want to address this because I was going to do a separate video for this, but most of you guys don't even know who he is, so let me talk about in this video. Speaking of Sonic drama over Frontiers, BC Media has returned to Twitter. I know some of you guys may know who BC Media is, some of you may not. Collaborate with me on the Sonic Team Cycle back in 2019. Now, I posted this back in 2019. It was a big collab that I posted originally in August of 2019. Now, as the months went by in 2020, you know, a lot of shit happened in 2020 and BC Media got himself into a lot of drama. Said a lot of hateful things to a lot of people. I won't get into that or the politics of that. That's the past. But, you know, he became problematic. Not to mention, both of us had a fallout, and I was like, you know what? I can't keep this video on my channel anymore. I don't want to be associated with him. So I took the video down. Now, since then, a lot of people have been demanding that I re-upload the video. Then the beginning of this year, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to re-upload this video. But if I do, I'm going to re-record all his lines myself because I don't want him to be associated with my channel anymore. Shortly after, I took the video down again, and the video will remain deleted. Now, some people asked me, and I told them, oh, it was because it was causing a lot of drama. I was being very vague with it, but that's not the case. To tell you the exact truth of why I took down that video. And the truth is, I have been protecting BC Media because I don't want to embarrass him at all. You know, I don't, because this is a very embarrassing reason. I was contacted by the Geek Critique about BC Media. That is why I took down the video the second time, and I'll never put it back up. Now let's read BC Media's tweet because he decided to return back to Twitter because he thinks everyone's forgotten what he's done. So he wrote, "Remember that time Gamer Guy stole my terrible theory video?" You're right, it is terrible. "And recorded his voice over mine without changing anything? He rehashed that and added his own portion at the end, theorizing that Frontiers would follow through with that theory. Yeah, how's that holding up, guy? He also privated the video because everyone knew he stole it." Now, here's the truth, BC Media, and I don't know why you came out with this, but the reason why I took down your video is because you plagiarized, 100% plagiarized your lines from the Geek Critique, and you did it all behind my back. Here's the email Geek Critique wrote to me, and I was shocked because it was like, yo, I collabed with him on this and he didn't tell me at all. I don't really watch the Geek Critique. I mostly watch, you know, some call me Johnny, Scott the Waz, those kind of Nintendo tubers or people who cover Sonic. I don't really watch the Geek Critique, but I knew that BC Media was a big fan of Geek Critique. And a lot of the footage that he took, that we worked on together, he stole from the Geek Critique, and he did it behind my back without letting me know. So I was like, yo, you know, this is why I don't like working with just any random small YouTube channel, because I have to vet them first now. Now I vet them first, know exactly their history, their past, before I work with them and look back. Now, I'm not going to read everything here because you guys can see this, but he told me that he talked with Ben before. That's his name, Ben Curtis, BC Media. And Ben still went behind his back and stole his lines. Those lines aren't his. But really, the issue isn't just stolen footage or stolen words. It's also that the entire crux of the argument is formed based on my view of the series. I'll tell you exactly what I told Ben a few years ago. Now, this is the email he originally wrote to BC Media, and I hope BC Media is watching this. "I really, really wish you had asked me. I mean, I say this in my channel description. If you want to show a clip of one of my episodes, or even reference something I said in one of your scripts, that's fine too. Just let me know ahead of time. I'll ask that you credit me properly in the video. Let me know when it goes up and provide a link to my content in your description. However, clips shouldn't exceed about 30 seconds, and you shouldn't just be using my footage to make your point for you. Because if you had asked me and you had told me what the series was about, I would have politely asked you to please not do it, because it was something that I was building toward. It was going to be quite a major part of my next Sonic season. The idea that the series has gone through this pattern twice is something I had never ever seen anyone else talk about, and while I wouldn't have been upset if someone else had noticed it independently, you've said yourself that you put it together while watching my Heroes video. I knew I'd want to link Heroes to Lost World later, so that was definitely where I was seeding the idea most of all." Basically, the Geek Critique is saying that the whole Sonic Team Cycle thing was all his idea. BC Media stole that idea, and then he went and contacted me to collab with me on this, and me never watching the Geek Critique, I blindly went ahead with it thinking that this was the original idea when he took it all from Geek Critique. I'm not mad because you noticed what I was building toward. I'm mad because you took my idea, extrapolated where I was going with it, and then took all the credit for it. You presented it in a massive video essay as if it was entirely your own idea, while literally plagiarizing mine and others' work. And did all this without even having the courtesy to ask me if I'd be okay with that. Your tendency to treat this idea as if it's some inevitable, natural consequence of Sonic Team's very existence is ridiculous. It is worth pointing out, but you massively overstate it and portray it as if we can just make Sega aware of this, then they'd magically be able to break the cycle. So you use that to justify spamming it everywhere for the good of the series. But it's not a cycle, it's a coincidence. And the way you overstate it damages the credibility of even talking about it, which sucks. The fact that this has happened twice is a very noteworthy indication of how troubled the series has been. But it's a conclusion I only came to after literally years of thinking about it. And it's a conclusion that I think is fairly unique to my perspective on the series. It's why Heroes and Lost World are linked as these Sonic games that don't feel like Sonic games, that feel like they were made for people who didn't like Sonic games, but that's just how it feels to me. To someone else, Heroes or Lost World might have defined what a Sonic game is. That's exactly why Premi the Remy didn't like BC Media at all, because he said we slandered Heroes in that video. Similarly, Sonic 06 and Forces might both return to a previously successful gameplay style and completely fall on their faces, but they do that in completely different ways, and acting like they're both the endpoint of some inevitable cycle completely loses that nuance. I don't really know what I'm hoping you take from this. Your video's out there now, you've clearly put a lot of work into it, and in your later segments on games post 06, you at least present plenty of opinions that are going to be very different from mine. But stop spamming your video everywhere, stop trying to get me to call attention to it publicly, and stop trying to get me to acknowledge your plagiarism publicly. Because I don't want even more people to know what you did. Well, too late for that, now they do. And I don't know why you do. You won't succeed by riding anyone else's coattails. Don't ever take any more of my or anyone else's footage or quotes without asking. Don't ever plagiarize anyone ever again. Finally, please do not publicize this message either on your social media or in any of your videos. This is not something you should see as an opportunity to make a public apology. This is me, as a content creator, explaining my position to you in the hopes that you'll avoid doing this to me or to any other creators in the future. And then he wrote, if I'd known what he was going to do in 2020, I wouldn't have been even that kind. Basically, he's telling me that if he knew the type of person BC Media was going to end up being in 2020, he would have just exposed this. So I'm doing that anyway. You know, it's funny because someone else was actually going to make a drama video with me on BC Media. It was like an exposed video back in 2020. But I decided against it. I was like, no, dude, like, I don't want to embarrass him. But, you know, the fact that he's back, I even told his friend Tolu, I was like, if your friend BC comes back online, I will expose him. If he knows what's good for him, he shouldn't come back, at least as BC Media. But they didn't listen to me, and this is what happens. So anyway, that's just the explanation of why you guys will never see Sonic Team cycle again, because he plagiarized it all behind my back. So alright, let's get to these Sonic news now. Now, Sonic Central, that was kind of lame. That was very, very underwhelming. The only thing they talked about that was of great importance was Sonic Origins. Like, there's a lot of cool things we saw of Sonic Origins, especially the cutscenes. Now, I've already mentioned this before that we're going to get a lot of animated cutscenes that will connect Sonic 1 all the way to Sonic 3 Knuckles. And that's great because we get to finally see Sonic CD taking place between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, which is something I've always wanted to see. So that's going to be great, seeing, you know, this whole story come together. Yeah, like I said, this is going to be a repeat of 2017, you know, Sonic Origins getting a higher score than Sonic Frontiers. I don't personally think Sonic Frontiers is going to be as bashed as Sonic Forces was, and I'll get to that later, but it's definitely not going to make a higher score than Origins, that's for sure. So I'm very excited for Sonic Origins. I can't wait to cover it. You know, the missions, they're going to have a lot of new things like missions, mirror mode, all that. It's just, you know, it's going to be awesome. Then the next thing they talked about was obviously little things like Speed Simulator merch. And then, you know, Sonic Movie 2 Blu-ray edition, you know, with the special features, you know, all that stuff. Nothing worth really discussing about. And then Sonic Music, we all know Sonic Music is great. Sonic and Fall Guys. Now, Sonic Prime, they showed a little sneak peek of Shadow. And it's cool because Shadow kind of reminds me of how he looks like in Sonic Boom, and it was like, what? You know, the animation looks all right. You know, we already know how the characters will look like in Sonic Prime. It's not going to be up to Marza level, but it's, you know, it's not going to be bad. It's going to be better than Sonic Boom, I hope, but not better than like Marza, what they're doing in Sonic Frontiers. I wasn't expecting to see a trailer of Sonic Prime. I know we're going to get a full trailer this Friday, June 10th. So I'm going to hold off on all the Sonic Prime news and leaks until then. But that was cool that we saw Shadow. You know, it's kind of funny because it coincides with me talking about Sonic Rebound episode 6 preview, and that has Shadow. Everyone loves Shadow. Then we got into Sonic Frontiers. Now, they're going to do a animated shorts, a little animated mini series of Sonic Frontiers, kind of like what they did with Sonic Mania, you know, Sonic Mania Adventures, and Team Sonic Racing with Team Sonic Racing Overdrive. Yeah, so it's called Sonic Frontiers Prologue, and they only showed one screenshot. It was Knuckles guarding the Master Emerald. So it's nice that they're actually showing Knuckles guarding the Master Emerald again. But it's like, yo, especially Ian Flynn has been teasing, saying knowing smile and all that. It just makes me wonder, this game, is it going to follow IDW? Because if it follows the tone of IDW, doesn't that make it canon and IDW canon with the Sonic games? But, you know, Sega already stated that IDW isn't canon with the Sonic games, so I don't even know. All I know is that Sonic Frontier story is going to be a hit. It shouldn't be a miss because Ian Flynn is writing it, so I hope they deliver with the story. This is not Pontac and Graph anymore, so please, I want some good storytelling. And after what IGN talks about, the story sounds pretty good and honestly serious. But that's about it. That's really all they talked about with Sonic Central. It was over. I was like, what? That's it? That was kind of lame, and I'm so glad we got IGN premiere after that because the Sonic Central was very underwhelming. Calling it underwhelming is actually an understatement. So they actually went very in depth with this game, and it actually reassured me on some issues I had with the game, and it reassured a lot of people. This is why I always talk about being patient until you get the full picture. So they showed some screenshots at first with like this giant titan with childbearing hips and an echidna dick that Sonic has to defeat. And it's very cool, you know, they show loop-de-loops and all that. I don't know why people were thinking there wouldn't be loops in Sonic Frontiers. But one of the cool things they talked about here is the story. After flying into a wormhole with Tails and Amy, Sonic finds himself separated from his friends and all alone on an isolated island with nothing but an AI voice, guiding him to collect Chaos Emeralds. So, I guess this rules out the whole Amy Rose is the ghost girl thing. I don't even know if there's going to be a ghost in this game, but Amy's still involved in the story, so I'm still hold out some hope to Sonic Rose, but honestly, I think it's pretty much deconfirmed at this point. Then the combat. Sonic is able to quickly dodge using the bumper buttons on the gamepad, and by pressing them together, he can even parry attacks with the right timing. His homing attack also feels much more powerful, landing with a ton of impact and keeping Sonic stuck to his enemy, allowing for a flurry of follow-up strikes, which is why it looks like Sonic is in place when he fights. It's kind of like those Bayonetta games, or even Shadow when he fought in like Sonic 06, but I hope they make it less awkward looking. Progression. Defeating these enemies will reward you with EXP that you can use to purchase new skills from a skill tree, which gives Sonic Frontiers a really nice feeling of power progression, even in just the relatively short amount of time that I played. Some of the later skills you can get are just unbelievably cool. That's great that you can upgrade Sonic's fighting abilities and it's not just the same thing over and over like Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Like I said, the combat in this game has the potential to be even better than the Werehog combat in Unleashed, because I wasn't that fond of the Werehog in Unleashed at all. And they finally mentioned skill tree, which is what the leaks have been saying for over a year now. Now the levels. Sonic must hunt down and defeat these bosses in order to collect portal gears, which open portals that lead to bite-sized linear stages, done in the style of previous Sonic games, giving Sonic Frontiers a nice mix of both old and new styles. So those cyberspace stages. These classic levels each come with a handful of optional goals, like beating the level under a certain time, collecting all the red rings, and so on, with each goal rewarding you with a vault key, which are needed to unlock the coveted Chaos Emeralds. Now I heard there's only 7 cyberspace stages, but I doubt that. I think there's going to be a couple of cyberspace stages per Chaos Emerald. You know, because just having 7 for 7 Chaos Emeralds, it's so short. Open world setting. Open world games like Zelda or other AAA games fundamentally have RPG or adventure worlds. For Sonic, the core here is a 3D action game. Our basic idea was to have that take place in an open space. What sets Sonic Frontiers apart is the different approach to an open world game, which is true what Takashi Iizuka said. He's basically saying it's an open zone. Rails, platforms, boost rings, and so on are just inexplicably floating in the air all around, which isn't totally unusual for a Sonic game, but it feels especially jarring in Frontiers in particular because of the frequent and sudden popping of these objects in the otherwise very naturalistic art style. That's true. The draw rate is what I was fearing of because it's such a big open world, but like I said in my reaction, if it doesn't affect the gameplay, then it's not too bad as long as you're not glitching out and stuff. Of course, it's worth emphasizing that this gameplay and the version I played were from an early build, but this is definitely an area that I'd hope to see improvement in the final version. So yeah, that covers everything of the IGN. Very, very informative. More informative than I thought. A lot better than their first 2 previews of Sonic Frontiers. That had a lot of dislikes because people were just confused on what we were seeing. So this gives me some reassurance on the game. All they need to do is iron things out. And IGN admitted that they played an earlier build of Frontiers, which means that the build we're going to get when the game comes out is the final build. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully this game is good. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic. Continue staying neutral. I'm not going to get super hyped and get bummed, but I'm not going to be all negative and like overly negative and think this game is going to be trash. Like, no, unless if I'm joking about it privately. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this news? Let me know down in the comments below. We are in the thick of Sonic hype, Sonic news, lots to do, lots to cover. So all right guys, that's all I have for now. So take care, and until next time, I'm out.